Cellar door live from the toilet. I'm gonna try not to show my wiener here. Not that there's as much to see. It's like a little king sitting on its throne. But as I said in the video yesterday, these just got out of the bath here. I guess this was the title scene in 1997 or 98, whenever I put these away. So these are the bone crunchers and these things. Look, this is funny. Where's my Hogan? I made a custom Hogan. My attempt at customing at fucking 13, 14 years old. I made a Hogan though. So you got, here he is. You know how fucking terrible this is. Took an Austin and made a Goldberg. That fucking chest hair. You got your Triple H Hogan. But I went through these. I was very surprised that that Diesel figure was there. Hey, who needs the new Viscera in the Elite set? But I was pumped that that Diesel was there. I said that the kid that gave me this box with these in it, these were actually sealed tight. So I didn't really need to bathe all these. But that Diesel and that Razor over there are mine. My Razor broke. I remember when Series 1 of these came out, I didn't open them right away. I left them in the box, and then when I moved into the house I live in right now, on the way to the house one night, we stopped at Toys R Us, and they had all the Series 2s. And I don't even think I was getting like Toy Fair magazine yet. But this Warrior was in Series 2, and it was like Owen Hart, Vader. Like, it was a dope Series 2. Who else was it? I know Shawn Michaels and Brett. It was Owen Hart, Vader, Warrior. Ahmed wasn't until Series 3. Who was the fucking 6th figure in Series 2? Bulldog was Series 3. I remember getting Series 3 after we went and saw when they re-released New Hope. My mother took me to Toys R Us, and they had all Series 3. I already had the Bulldog, but I remember having to hide them because Mom was like, you can go in, but you're not getting nothing. So I had to hide them and wait till my dad got home because he wouldn't say no. So I bathed all these, but I remember getting off track again. I remember getting Series 2, but there has to be more of these somewhere because I definitely don't see the box set, the Survivor Series Warrior. So I'm thinking there's another box of Bone Crunchers somewhere. My poor Patriot. Remember when they did this, they brought these out. I know the Taco, you can only get Taka, and I forgot what these were called. The ones that did moves. I could actually fix him. I got all his other stuff down here. But there's your Bendies, or Bendums. I remember getting these too. I was so pissed. We went to the Fan Fest before WrestleMania 11. And that was when the green cards were out. They've probably been out for like a little bit less than a year. But I remember being so pissed going there, and they didn't have any of the green cards. And I saw these, and they were in bags too. They weren't packaged yet. But I remember being so pissed that they didn't have the green card Hasbros. But I used this with my Hasbros, so I guess it did its job. What else do we got here? I actually kind of like this Sting and the other Sting. I don't know why I think these are cool. These were right after the vibrating figures. I just cleaned those off yesterday. The Kevin Sullivan still worked. All the other batteries were shot, but the Kevin Sullivan still vibrated. Probably the worst wrestling figures of all time, the vibrators. And then they did these in this scale. I don't have any of my Hogans down here because I took all my Hogan stuff and separated it one time and put up a Hogan wall. And then some girl made fun of me, so I took all that stuff down and put up like Mobb Deep posters and stuff. But yeah, that shit was funny. I was like talking shit to her. I was making fun of her boyfriend because he rode a fucking street bike, and you know, I'm a Harley guy. And she was at the house and fucking, and really, I think I made it to like first or second with her. But she fucking, I was talking shit, and she said, okay, Hulk Hogan. I was like, ooh, you're good. Oh, but there he is, the murdering murderer, Crispin. So here's I talk so much shit about the giveaways. That'll be my first giveaway. That'll reel them in. My extra San Francisco Toymaker giant figure. Dude, these were so bad. Look at how the legs move. Like, what were they thinking? At least the Toy Bizes came next. The Toy Bizes were nice. And you know what else is weird too? The Scott Steiner. They must have switched this like during production because it still has the ponytail. So I remember getting these too. Focus, motherfucker. I remember getting these on the way to WCW Nitro in Hartford. It was the only time I went to saw WCW, and it was crazy because it was the first night this guy showed up to WCW Ultimate Warrior. So I thought that was pretty cool that I got to see that. Look at these fucking belts they came with. DDP. Look at these faces. Can't say these are ahead of their time. Yeah, so I definitely think there's another box somewhere of these. I don't have my red Yoko. There's actually a red Yoko over here with the head missing that the kid that gave it to me was. I remember that was pretty sought after because of the what's his name? Paul Bearer that came with. That's the Bendum ring. Dude, I don't understand why the rings are so shitty, like outside of Elite rings. They're always so small. Even the ones that like they put out now for kids, they're pretty bad. They're just tiny as fuck. I thought this was awesome. The small figs that came with those. I got like 4 of those. I think I stopped when they started repeating. But I think the coolest thing about those were that Chainsaw Charlie never had a bone cruncher. So, is this the only... No, Jakks Superstars, the classics. Excuse me, they have a Chainsaw Charlie. But up to this point, this was the only way to get the Chainsaw Charlie. So I thought that was cool. But, dude, look at this. I thought this was awesome. How you got your King of the Ring. And then the crown's right here. I thought that was cool that this has, like, you could, it's like having a new belt for these guys. I had fun with these. I remember the first one, they were just little scaled down versions of the Bone Crunchers, the BCAs. So I still have my launchers for the Attitude Era ring. That was probably the best ring to come out to that point. The Monster rings were cool too because my LJN ring, I still have in the attic, but that thing is shot to shit. I used to sit in it when I was little. I'm talking like 2, and it cracked in the middle. So when the Monster ring came out, the original Monster ring, I remember being pumped because it was like getting a new LJN ring. But the Attitude Era ring, that was like, it was also a traveling case. Here's the Rick Steiner. That was probably the best one to come out because it was decent size to hold the figures. Like, even the Mattels that come out right now that are not Elite rings, like, dude, you lay a guy down in the ring, his fucking head's touching one rope and his feet are touching the other. The infamous War Tony. What else we got over here? I don't know. These I had a lot of fun with. Where's the head? That's the Al Snow. I just had the head too. The controversial. The Luna Vachon's actually really nice. That's in this. Boom. Pretty nice figure. I was pumped when the Big Show came out. I remember getting this. And it was like, you know, one of the first guys to jump. Even having Vader, like, because Vader, I still consider him a WCW guy. But getting this Big Show with the shirt that he never had was cool to put him up against guys like, you know, Sid and whoever else was out at the time. I think the dopest Jakks are probably the Headbangers. That whole first set of 2-packs was dope. You had LOD, first time you could ever take off their shoulder pads. You had the Godwins, not these Godwins. The controversial Confederate flag Godwin figures. Who else was in that? The new Blackjacks. Yeah, there's one over there. I don't know where the other one is. And where's that? The Kurgan. The Oddities Kurgan. I remember going up in the attic and taking the shirt off this to put it on the Jakks Classic Superstars Don Morocco. It went nice on that. I don't know where the head is, though. I had it. Fucking... Dude, the second wave of belts were shit, too, compared to the first. Like, up to this point, these were the coolest belts. Like, the detail, they're braised. I remember this coming out, too. Brian Pillman had 2 Jakks figures. He had the Stomp one that I used forever, and then he had this, the one that they fucking did stuff when you flicked buttons. When you touch their buttons. We got the Los Baricuas, Savio Vega, the Austin, the star on the boots. It's like the first Stone Cold figure. Cool. Vader. There was a couple Vaders. Oh man, these are fucking shot too. So I had a D Squirrel and D Mouse shit and piss these things. Oh, the Truth Commission. Cornet. So I'll be going back up in that attic. These are dope shoulder pads. Go back up in the attic, get some more stuff. It's insanely overwhelming, but it must be done. I wish I could find the head and show you, but I can't. I just had it too. I hope I didn't drop it in the toilet. What the fuck is it? Oh. That's not it though. The one I'm talking about is ridiculous. Has a big poofy hair. Where the fuck did I put that? Well, I'm not gonna sit here and not wipe my Zoll. I'm gonna go downstairs, try to find a brawler that I haven't played. Maybe get Speed Brawl. Oh, there it is. The controversial head. Look at how much hair they gave this thing. Like, I feel like this thing was part of another doll and they just took some overhead stock and used it. See ya.